What's going on, guys? Welcome back to our Let's Play here on the Bedrock edition. Now, today we're hopefully going to be making a start on our building that's going around our villager breeder. But we have got a creeper who's going to end up lurking on me if we don't get rid of him. So, yeah, let's just get rid of him. So, as you can see over here, I've started just growing some... Oh, that's an achievement. I forgot about that. Archer for taking out a creeper, I believe. Yep. Now, I've been growing some dark oak trees, just gathering some more of that wood. I've been gathering some vines. We once used mossy stone bricks or mossy cobblestone in our build. I'm not too sure about them yet. Now, I am going to be going for the cathedral build, so as you can see, I've sort of outlined the actual initial shape of it. And I had to do a little bit more terraforming, get rid of a massive chunk of that hill over there. And so you've got our two towers, which are going to be at the back. And then this section here is going to be like a sort of domed sort of roofing sort of area. And then I'm probably going to have a tower over at the other back end here. But that I'm probably going to... The first thing I want to actually get done in this episode is to bring these walls up by at least about 3 or 4. And make sure that everything inside of here isn't spawnable. Just so that way we can start sorting out our villagers. And also, as you can see, I've gone around spamming torches everywhere, so I think everywhere inside of here should now be unspawnable. Let me just have a quick double look. These guys are going to be spawnable, so we'll put some torches up there. They're all half slabs, that's a full block. Then torches are running all the way around the top. Got torches all along the centre, torches just inside all the little booth bits to stop things from spawning inside of there. Now obviously the cosmetics of this is going to change as we sort of build the outer building first. I've already got a design for the 2 first towers, that's about as far as I've got. And the design of it took me ages to come up with because trying to get as much detail as I want to get in the build in such a small sort of concept compared to how big a cathedral sort of should be. Yeah, it's hard to get enough detail into it to make it look really good. So I've tried to fit as much detail in my design as possible. But first of all, what we're going to do is we're going to actually bring up the walls by about 3 or 4. And then we're going to sort through all of the villagers we have got because we've got an absolute ton now just bobbling up and down. And half of them need to be disposed of so that we get some more breeding. So I'm fairly sure that they're sort of reaching their cap now from how many I've got, because there's not just that many, there's still some in the water streams trying to get up. So yeah, I'm going to bring up this wall quickly and then I'll bring you back for quickly sorting them out. Alright then guys, so I've managed to bring up the walls by 4, is it 4 or 5? 1, 2, 3. Yeah, by 4. I've also run a ring of torches around the top edge just to prevent spawns from happening on top. I've got ridiculous amounts of torches on the ground to stop spawns. I also went ahead and made a quick drop chute and a water elevator up and down from my man cave. So as you can see, it sort of just cuts out into this direction, which is like the third little split off from the little circle area. So we've got our Neverwater farm, we've got our little melon farm, which has been working out pretty well actually. So you just come along every now and again, you hit the button. And then we are actually collecting more than enough melon to meet our needs for the splash potions of healing, which I've been using over the zombie spawner, and they work extremely well. But I'll AFK for about an hour or so, hit it, and I'll go up from like level 27 to about level 39. And yeah, it works out pretty well. But I thought that we'd go through these villages together and give this thing a proper testing. Hopefully it's all still working fine, and hopefully there are no spawnable spots, because the last thing that I'm going to want is a zombie to come in here and attack all of our villagers. So hopefully we'll just start getting some now. You are a fisherman, we don't want you. He'll run off into the lava at some point. Next one is a librarian, we will want you. Right then guys, so I've been here for quite a while now. I've got a few decent trades. There wasn't that many librarians in the mix, so I didn't actually manage to get too many decent ones. This guy has flame, and this one's like just a bow guy, power 4, but for 28 emeralds it's a little bit steep. Protection 2 is pretty garbage, so I'll probably end up getting rid of him. He's our cartographer, which we're going to have to unlock the rest of his trades, so I need to go grab some more paper. And I just want to be able to get the first sort of monument maps, or the mansion map off of him, just to see roughly how far away we would be from it. Just do one of them. And I did go ahead and grab an entire load of the zombie or the rotten flesh to trade with the clerics in order to get some glowstone, which means before I forget, I want to actually grab some more redstone dust while I'm down here. Let me see, how much have we got? Oh, we got loads. Let's grab them blocks there to turn into redstone lamps to put behind the actual villagers. And as you can see, I'm like level 34 now just from doing the trading. So it's quite a good source of XP as well once you get going. Okay, you're just an empty map. I want to unlock some of you. Come on, give me the spare-leys. Nope, you want some more paper? Swirlies now. Nope. How about some more paper? Come on, guy. Where's the spells at? Give me the spells. For some reason, the cartographer, I swear you have to like do every single one of his trades to be able to unlock more. This guy just does not seem to want to be giving me the sort of spells. Even to unlock, like, after I got to the compass, I maxed out his paper trade, and he still wasn't giving me the swirlies, so, what would be cheaper? Let me just grab some of you. Hop on over here. Grab a couple more compasses. Make 21 more redstone lamps. I've already done all the redstone lamps across the right hand side. I just need to put them in on this side. But on this side, I'm fairly sure I'm going to have to figure out another way of doing it. Yes. So, where are they on that side? That goes, is it there? And then we, oh yeah, that's easy enough to do. Let's just break these torches. Like so. And now we're going to need some stone bricks. But we better replace all of these torches as well. Because redstone lamps should only be going on once the villagers are actually in place. So I really want to get all of these torches back before they despawn, please. There we go. I think that's all of them. And then we want to quickly whack them all back down just to prevent other things from spawning. That'll be fine. Now, same bricks please, thank you. Let's go and whack these guys, say just behind there. Or actually, how are we going to do this? So if that's there, if we put redstone dust there, it's just going to join all three of them torches together. Unless we figure out another way of powering all of... Hey, you know what, we can probably power the powered rail above, but you know what, I'm going to sort that out off camera, because otherwise it's going to be a lot of fiddling about. So before I get carried away doing that, The other side was a lot simpler because you had the redstone torches facing out this way, so you just had to place the actual blocks, which means as soon as the villager lands on it, it will light up, and then when they're off, it will turn off. But yeah, as for the trades, we got a fairly decent first guy, which wasn't too bad. He had, let me go through. He's got an unbreaking book for 20. Now for 20 emeralds, although it's a bit steep, it's still worthwhile having unbreaking. Looting one's garbage, but he's also got Frostwalker for 12, which ain't too bad. I don't really use Frostwalker on my boots though, so Lore 3, garbage. Sharpness 3, it's not too bad, although you can get Sharpness 5 with the villagers. And Projectile Protection for 30 is extremely steep for Projectile Protection. Because you don't really need, really, guy. I could actually use some ender pearls. So he's just gone now. He stole my dirt and he legged it. Don't even know where he got that dirt from though. So yeah. So as for the village trading, it's working out pretty well. I'm still getting the sort of random issue that every now and again a villager will just refuse to leave. They will always be able to be funneled through to this hat, to the feeding inside, no problem. But for some reason, when you send them off to die, 1 out of every 7 or 8 of them will just stay there. So, but you can then just kill them with the sword, and then if you hit the button, minecart will then shoot off, and then that'll get fed back into the system, which ain't too much of an issue. But yeah, what I'm going to do is probably do another little bit of an AFK session over at the villager breeder. I'll let them build up again to get some decent ones until I get a mending book in. But whilst I do that, and in the meantime, I'm going to do a quick time lapse of me cracking on with these 2 towers. So yeah, I'll see you after that's all done. And we're back, guys. It is now actually a day or two after my last bit of recording, well, after that time lapse. Now, if you're wondering how comes I only done one of the towers in a time lapse, that's because the tower itself took me, it was around about 2.5 hours to record. Now, even dropping the FPS down to about 20 to 30 FPS, it was still going to take up, well, it did take up around about 30 to 50 gigabytes worth of recording. Sort of space on the hard drive, so that is probably going to take me quite a while to render out and cut down into the 1.5 or 2 minute time lapse that it is going to be. But I did go ahead, and after doing that sort of recording session, I then went ahead and built the second tower. And I'm not 100% landed on the roofs of them, like where it goes up under them two sort of window bits just there. The bit above that is a section that I'm not 100% sure about. Now, if you're wondering how comes I've left these two sides empty on either of the towers, that is purely because this section in the middle is going to be joined together by a sort of building that goes up to around about the point where they come out. And then obviously we're going to have this section that runs off down the side. And I've not yet designed that whatsoever. So I'm not too sure on how it's going to sort of end up looking, but if we get a decent sort of viewpoint, because you can't really tell from being this low down. But yeah, it did take me quite a while, and it wasn't, first of all, I forgot how tedious it is trying to build something on a large scale without using shulker boxes, because you used to just be able to carry all of the resources that you needed on you. Yeah, see. So the sort of scale of it's looking pretty nice. I'm quite happy with the sort of design. Now the sections where it looks like it's going to be windows are obviously going to be windows. So them two bits just down there and this section just above it, that's actually going to be windows. I've just put the wood there as a placeholder for the second. And then, yeah, see, the roofs are what I'm not too sure about, and I want to definitely implement another sort of colour to it, because it's still looking, it's looking very sort of timely, sort of like medieval. Well, not really medieval, but sort of olden day style. And initially when I built the second tower, when I got up to just above the windows, I realised that this entire one on the left hand side was one block lower than the one on the right. So I actually had to build that entire bottom section again, which was a little bit tedious, but yeah. Without shulker boxes though, it is, oh my god, such a nightmare to try to build something on a large scale. If you probably saw in the time lapse how many times I had to keep on hopping up and down. Like, you can see that I've still got the water stream there in the first tower where I was using it to get up and down, because it was just a nightmare. You can only hold so much on you, and not only that, but the second thing that also took a ridiculous amount of time is that you can see how many stairs I use. And the stairs have to be placed in a very particular way to make it sort of do that coming out and then going back in, and then it does it again on the section just above. It comes out and goes back in. The window sections, the stairs are going in different directions all over the place just to give it that sort of design. We've got stairs right at the top of the third section up there, which was a nightmare. So yeah, it's a lot easier to create in my sort of redstone test world, like my creative thing where you just fly around and you place the blocks however you like them. But when it comes to building it in survival, it is quite a nightmare. As you can see over here, I've got to do an absolute ton of terraforming, because obviously we don't want this hill so close. So I'm probably going to have to tear this hill down completely, this one here, and then I'll probably tear it down coming across over to around about, or probably over here where the river is, and then just make this hill sort of naturally come down, just so that way it's not sort of encroaching on the perimeter of our sort of cathedral build. But I think for a start, it's not actually looking half bad. I'm quite happy with the sort of design. I'm quite happy with the way that it's come out. Now, obviously, building a sort of cathedral style building like this, it's a lot easier to build it on a much larger scale, because you can introduce a lot more detail than what I've got already. Now, as you can see, I've tried to fit as much detail in as I could without having it looking too busy or too sort of chaotic. But yeah, what I will actually go, oh yeah, another thing is the villagers, our Unbreaking villager, the one with our Unbreaking book. I accidentally killed him as well. I didn't realise I put down the redstone lamps and I completely forgot that when they're in minecarts, you can obviously nudge them along. And because we didn't have any solid block behind him, I sort of went to do a trade with him, stood too close, knocked him back. He got trapped inside a redstone lamp. I tried to save him with my pickaxe breaking the redstone lamp, and all I ended up doing was killing him quicker. But now you can see I've actually put solid blocks behind them all, and the pressure plate that they're now sitting on is connected to redstone cabling underneath the ground. And then that leads to a redstone torch tower which I've extended further down, which then comes just down. We can just get a little bit of a viewpoint. It comes down here, and as you can see, all the redstone's now pretty much hidden underneath the ground apart from the redstone torch towers, because the redstone wiring used to be directly behind the pressure plates that they land on. So yeah, now they've got a solid block there, so there's no chance of me knocking them back. Like, if I do jump into them, I'm not going to knock them into the redstone lamp. But I did introduce the same sort of system on both sides. I've got it running along this side as well. So now we've got solid blocks sitting behind, and then when they come down, they'll turn the redstone lamps on. Just as like a clear indicator that you've got a villager there that's ready for trading. And then after a good couple of days worth of AFKing sessions at our mob spawner, I did die twice as well building these things. I lost all of my items on one of the turns apart from 2 of my pickaxes. And that is because I just fell off and then I sort of died. The second time that I've done it where I lost most of my items is because I was actually AFK up there, and a skeleton had spawned on the other tower. So I was standing on the edge of this one, sort of went to grab myself a drink, and a skeleton had spawned on that one and actually shot across and knocked me off. So where I was AFKing, I wasn't really AFKing, I was just literally popping out to make a cup of tea. I got knocked off, I died, and I didn't get back in time to get all of my items. So I had to go back to our zombie spawner, do a load of enchanting, which was more fun in games. And then, so the villagers sort of built up. I came back here, there's around about 30 or 40 of them to go through. I'm getting 1 out of every 10, which is actually a librarian. But our last few of them that were librarians, now I've gone through, no word of a lie, at least about 200 to 300 villagers now. And the reason I've got so many clerics is because just the amount of zombie flesh or rotten flesh that I've got our zombie spawner. But our last 2 ones are extremely good ones. We finally got one with a mending book. Only 22 emeralds, which ain't half bad for a mending book. What other ones has he got? He's got a power 3 and he's got a silk touch, but we've also got another one down here, which has silk touch. Is it you? No, you're our bow guy. You're our cartographer. Is it the first one? I know that one of them has silk touch for a lot cheaper. Bow guy, I've just already seen him. You? Yeah, this guy, he's got silk touch for 16, which ain't too bad. This one, yeah, that's our 22 one. And then this one is also, this one's got Frostwalker 2, which ain't great, and it's 52 emeralds, which is like on the higher end scale of cost for the books. Punch 2, but he's also got a mending book for 38, but clearly we're going to be going for this guy for our mending books, which I'm very happy about, which means in the next episode I should have fully enchanted diamond armor, because I did actually have to go out and do a couple more mining sessions just to get enough smooth stone to be able to do the second tower. Now, on camera with you now, I'm going to quickly run off and grab some glass and some dye. I'm thinking blue glass. I'm not too sure though. I guess we could try with blue glass first of all. Have we got any glass? I think we got glass smelted up there, but I think we're going to need some dye. Yeah, let me just get a couple of bits together and we can see what some glass looks like in them window frames. just to see how it varies. So yeah, I guess I'll see you back in a sec. Okay guys, so I've managed to get some blue glass, and I've also grabbed some white concrete just to put behind the blue glass, just so that it looks a little bit more brighter. And hopefully it will come out looking fairly decent. As you can see, I'm probably going to have to do some terraforming here. I'll probably cut the river up a little bit and just smooth it out. Either that or move the river going further across that way. But I'm not opposed to having the river too close to it, because it does add like a bit of colour in the area. Now let me clear this out. I don't know if I'm going to have enough glass on me. Should have really checked this, but see how it goes. So that would be one. Assuming that would be, oh no, not that one. Two. Bring that all the way up. Then let's get you, and you. Is that? That's not high enough, is it? We need to go one more. Do that. And do the same on this side. Now, obviously, I have no idea what we're going to be doing inside these towers, but it does give quite a big option of having some farms that will be producing stuff for us to do trading with. So that will be something for us to look forward to in the future. So as opposed to this looking not so great on the inside at the moment, we can obviously bring these walls in for the internal walls being a lot closer, because they're quite big towers actually. I thought that I was going to be building it on a much smaller scale, but the sort of design that I came out with, just to be able to incorporate enough detail into the towers, it had to be fairly big. But I think the towers themselves will come out looking pretty good. Oh well, I'm happy with it. You're going to have to let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you've got any ideas on what I could do with the roofs as well, because everything I tried to do in my creative world involving making a pointed style roof, on this sort of size scale, I could not do a pointed roof without doing it the way that I have done it. And I tried a number of different sort of variations and techniques. And just to make sure, because otherwise we're going to have spawns, like a couple of torches up there. And then our next one should be around here. Slowly break the blocks that we need to. That one's going to have to come out, that one didn't. Oh, really? I did not mean to do that. Come on. Let's get into here, just so we can see where to go. Get rid of all this. That is about as high as that needs to go, I think. Is there windows above that section now? I honestly cannot remember. Just get up a bit more. Yes, there is. Is there? Or is that just the top point? Oh no, that is the top point, so it sort of comes down like that, doesn't it? Okay, so we can fill that section back in there. That needs to be window, that needs to be window, that doesn't, that doesn't, that doesn't, and that doesn't. That one doesn't. And then I think the rest does. So just try filling in this. I can't see us having enough glass for this, but we'll see what we could do with what we got at the moment. And I'm just breaking blocks that was meant to be there. Awesome. Okay, you. I'm definitely not going to have enough glass if we do that. And let's back it with the white concrete just to brighten it up. And like so. Okay, ouch. Let's just take a step back and see how that looks first of all. See if it looks any better or if it looks worse than the other tower that's just got the wood in. I want to get a decent vantage point yet again. Because trying to look at this thing close up, you don't really get to see the sort of impact or the sort of full view. Obviously it's hard to tell without that bottom section being there, but I definitely like the fact that it's got another sort of colour thrown in there. I'm not 100% landed on the blue glass. We could try a different coloured glass, but yeah, I think having glass there with a white concrete powder behind just to brighten it up actually looks pretty decent. And obviously with it being a sort of cathedral style build, we are going to want some sort of stained glass in there. I was thinking about just doing glass panes, but if you have blocks behind them, then you get that weird connection sort of texture, because then they'll start connecting to the blocks directly behind them, which is a little bit infuriating, but definitely like windows being there over just the wood, especially being able to bring another colour into it. It looks pretty nice. Quite happy with that, but I'm going to obviously swap all of them out off camera because this episode is now probably running a little bit long, and I think we're going to call it a day. Now, if you're wondering how comes I've had a lack of videos uploaded this week, it is because the Destiny 2 DLC's just been released, and my time's been split in between doing this, and this being as big a project as it is, has taken me a lot longer than what I estimated it to. Like, this is over the span of recording for about 3 or 4 days, building them 2 towers and sort of getting the villagers to trade and whatnot. Now, in between this episode and the next one, I am going to be doing a lot of trading. I'm going to have to go down there and actually get some glass. I'm going to be doing a lot of trading. I'm going to get a load of diamond armor sort of enchanted up, get the mending books on it, get the mending books on my decent tools. So that way I don't have to keep on repairing them using levels and more diamonds. I could just go down to the XP farm and sort of repair everything. Now I want some glass. Say 4 stack should do it. I'm gonna have to get some more bones for bone meal to make the white concrete as well. Oh goody. Now, what was I saying? Yes, in between episodes I'm going to be doing a lot of enchanting, getting some decent armor. I've already got an idea on the project that I want to do for the next episode. We're going to sort of lean away from building the sort of cathedral. Now, I will be doing bits and pieces on that in between episodes rather than dedicating another episode to it. Because, yeah, having too much of the buildy type episodes is a little bit, I find them boring to watch personally. I much prefer the sort of farms and redstone devices, and I'm looking for something and can't find it. There we go. We want some coal, don't we? Yeah, so we'll probably lean away towards that, and I'll just sort of give you progress updates in between episodes as to how I'm going with it. Like, I'll definitely be carrying it on because I want to finish that building. I hate having unfinished projects. And obviously, once we finish the outer shell of the building, we can then start working on the interior. And then we can start working on automated systems of getting the resources over there that we need to trade with our villagers. Like, I want to be able to get the sugar cane, which is over here, transported over to there. And once the big shell of the building's actually up, we can then decide how much room we got to work with as opposed to putting farms in there, which I really want to because having a I did it in my last Let's Play on the console edition where the two towers of my fortress I had a melon farm and a pumpkin farm in, which isn't such a bad idea to do with the two towers on the cathedral type building, because having them resources being produced where you need to trade them is extreme. Well, why is half my crops missing here? I don't know why that is. Would be extremely handy to obviously have them there. I've got extra grass in the system. And extra redstone. How is it that... Is this thing even on at the moment? No, I'll turn it off, didn't I? That's probably how comes it's not rotating and sorting the items as it's meant to. Let's get that back on the go. Seeds, thank you. There's our redstone. Still going into the system. Yeah, like I said, I've done a couple of the sort of mining runs to get smooth stone, which is how comes we've got well over a stack of redstone ore. And we've also got 8 diamonds, 8 lapis, a couple of emerald blocks, got a bunch more iron, bunch more gold, a ton more coal. So we're not short on that. But yes, I keep on straying off, and I've tried to end this episode about 3 times now, and I'm still talking. So hopefully you've enjoyed today's episode, and hopefully the next one will be a lot more redstone, well, not really redstone intensive, but more farm orientated, because I really do enjoy my farms, and we really need to get the infrastructure down before the aquatic update comes out. So hopefully you've enjoyed today's episode, and I'll hopefully see you all in the next one. Bye bye.